always had that something in you where you wanted to strive for better. So describe for me, what has your journey been like in life?
The journey it's been very hard because, I was on public assistance, so it was like, at first it was a boundary there. Anybody knows about public assistance, they only want you to go so far, or they're gonna cut it off.
When you describe yourself now, tell me, who's Freddie Stevenson, the man that you are now?
A few years ago, I remember in college, they would always have speakers come in and ask us who we are. I wouldn't have been able to answer the question. It probably would have had something to do with football. I'm a fullback for Florida State. I want to play in the NFL. But now it's just simple. I'm Freddie Stevenson, man of purpose.
This is a passion of mine. The whole premise behind the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast is to spotlight the fact that it is now time for you to get your dope comeback story.
Hey, say Jazzy Conversations with Jazz. Jazzy Conversations with Jazz. Say Jazzy Conversations with Jazz. Jazzy Conversations with Jazz.
Every Monday, I call people into a studio and we dig into their comeback stories, because I know that we see people in their glory and we see people when they're on top, when they can have that silver lining to them, but we all go through some things, right? We all go through some things, and I think once we're real with people and we let people know the trials and tribulations that we've gone through, it only makes us human and it connects one of us.
So I just want to know, what would be your advice to someone who is looking to start their own podcast?
First and foremost, let me back up. Find your voice. What are you going to talk about? Is it something that people want to listen to? How long will your podcast be? What's going to be the consistency of your podcast? Are you going to do it like weekly, daily? Are you going to do it monthly? So once you find that, because that's going to indicate if somebody wants to listen to your podcast or not. I do know how I'm doing it. I'm doing it with God. I'm doing it because this is a passion of mine. And when you are passionate about something, you're not going to stop. So it really is it comes down to how bad do you want it.
So listen, we are back with season 3 of the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast. I am your host, Jasmar Jazz Bennett, mother, educational leader, event host, podcast host, and I am just elated to be with you. You are watching right now the recap. You're watching the recap of my 3-year podcast anniversary live show, and it was amazing. From my guests to the singers, to the videographers, to the photographers, to the food trucks. I am just so blessed to be in this space, and I want you to not miss another show. When I tell you the comebacks were impeccable, from my special guest, Jason Alexander, from the different podcast guests that I had, from Christopher King, Catrice, we just had an amazing time. And so you will see that tickets are going to go on sale for my next event. We're not going to wait an entire year this time. I'm going to give my audience exactly what they want, and we're going to do another show. And so I'm so elated to be back with you guys for season 3 of the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast. This is my passion. This is my baby. This is a labor of love. And I am welcoming you into the 2025 new year. I wish I had like confetti. I wish I had balloons and all of that galore going on. And so you would have been able to see that had you been at my first event that I hosted for this new year. I actually had the opportunity, the pleasure, the honor to host a New Year's Eve party at the Black Swan venue, which, by the way, for my guest for season 3, episode 139. Mr. Darrian and Dorcas Crumbley are the owners, and they're going to be with us very shortly. But I need you to do some things before we even get into meat of this episode. I need for you to make sure that you share. You are watching via Facebook, if you're watching via YouTube, if you're watching via IG, I need for you to hit that share button. I need for you to comment 2025, share what you're looking forward to in this spectacular new year, because my theme for 2005 is thrive in 2005. We are going to thrive in all things that we do. And so let's speak it into existence. Let's go boldly. Let's lead by our faith and not our fear. Let's go into this new year crushing every single goal that you have on your list and everything that will manifest as this year continues. So you got to like it. You got to share it. I need for you to make sure that you comment. All right. So follow me, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, and on Instagram so that you can be a part of my Jazzy crew. Also, did you know that merch is available? I love my special guests because they purchased their t-shirts. I have an example of what the t-shirt will look like. It's right here. I didn't want to bring you like a wrinkled shirt, but it comes patched or packaged very nicely. They're only $25. Cash App is $Ben Jazz. That's BENNJAZZ. All you have to do is email me at jazzyconversationswithjazz@gmail.com. That's JAZZIE conversationswithjazz@gmail.com. Give me your information on the subject line. Just put t-shirt info or t-shirt purchase. Let me know your name, your address. Let me know the size of the t-shirt that you want. And then we can make it happen. You can get your special merch while they last. All right. And so shout out to my t-shirt vendor, Miss Jasmine Colbert. You guys, she is absolutely amazing with Sweet Peach. She is going to kill me because I mess up her vendor name all the time. I have her information. I will drop it in the comments below, but she is amazing and she will work with you. Okay. So we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions when we kick off this episode. So I'm going to save that for later. But right now I am going to introduce you to my special guest for this evening. I know that they have friends and they have family watching via YouTube, and that's what you do when you're trying to help the next person to excel and increase and all that good stuff. That's why I just had to start this new year off with them, because in this season, in this new year, I need to surround myself with people who are goal diggers, GOAL diggers, just like them. And they have inspired me tremendously. So I gave you the bio in the description of this podcast, but I'm also going to read a little bit. So Dorcas and Darrian Crumbley, they are hometown natives of Lakeland, Florida. I didn't ask them the school that they went to. Y'all know how y'all get into the beefs about what schools they go to and all that when we're talking about Lakeland. They can share that when we get on and into the podcast. But they epitomize the spirit of entrepreneurship. Like this dynamic duo, when we say power couple, they are, in fact, a power couple. All right. So they are all about entrepreneurship. They're all about community stewardship. They built a thriving business, which is a conglomerate, but they've also contributed significantly to those who are in need, right? And so, you know how I feel about being able to give back on top of you being successful. I feel that, to those who are given, you have to make sure that you give back. When you are receiving greatly, it is such a great thing that you give back into the community. And so Dorcas and Darrian, they're modest, but they are such a dynamic duo. Let me tell you. So with over 30 years of combined corporate experience, including roles at esteemed institutions like Keiser University and Lakeland Regional Health, they came from humble beginnings, but Dorcas and Darrian bring a wealth of knowledge to their advisory services division, their infrastructure and transformative leadership, among other areas. Now, beyond their financial successes, here's the part that really, really pulled at my heartstrings and things when you learn about people that you don't really know. Essential Catering Solutions, Inc. has achieved remarkable growth and recognition within the short span that they've been around. And so beyond their financial success, Dorcas and Darrian's commitment to community service is commendable. Their company has logged, get this, over 768,000 hours of volunteer services since its inception, reflecting on a deep-rooted ethos of giving back. Additionally, they have provided over 470 pounds of free food to those in need and have supported numerous local businesses through their local partnerships and collaborations. Now, this is the part where they're going to pop their collar for a little bit. Their efforts have not gone unnoticed, garnering over 22 awards and commendations from esteemed organizations such as the Florida National Guard, Catapult Lakeland and Winter Haven magazines, and various chambers of commerce, with a stellar reputation reflected in over 166 5-star ratings across multiple platforms. Essential Catering Solutions, Inc. stands as a testament to excellence in both service and in community engagement. And so I'm going to bring my special guest to the stage, Miss and Darrian Crumbley. How you guys doing?
Doing just fine. Good evening.
Great.
Listen, I'm like, and let me read some more because I have like a whole lot to read. And when people send me those esteemed bios, I get elated. I get so happy, and I never want to escape through any of your accomplishments that you've had. You know, you started with talking about Essential Catering Services Inc., but Solutions Inc. But tell us some more. What else do you own in this entrepreneurship space?
Well, we are the managers. I consider ourselves like the stewards of this company that owns the other company. So Essential Catering Solutions is the first and foremost, which we started by way of catering first. And then that blossomed into several other companies that it now owns. So it owns Sacred Productions, our production company and entertainment company, which you kind of alluded to. New Year's Eve night, it put on that function at our newest venture, Black Swan venue, which is our event venue. And then we also operate the Daily Huddle Cafe inside the Bartow County Courthouse.
Yes.
And that's on the food service side. So that's what it owns.
And let me just say, I'm so proud of everything that you guys have been able to accomplish. And we're going to get into how you got this idea to even bring these amazing businesses to life, to fruition, and you've serviced the community, this Lakeland community and beyond. You know, I know it spans beyond Polk County, and I know that there's a reason that it happened. And so we're going to rewind it back to January 1st of this new year, 2025. Let's talk about the New Year's Eve celebration. What were you expecting? Why did you want to do it? And what did you leave? What was your takeaway from having that experience? Because I had a ball. I don't know if you know it, but I had a ball. So what was your takeaway from it?
We were expecting people to come out and enjoy themselves in Lakeland, Florida, just the same way that we normally do when we go and drive to Tampa and Orlando. We wanted there to be an offering for all people to come together and enjoy themselves and bring in the new year in a safe, and be entertained, a safe way, and be entertained. And every time you show up, Miss Jazz, you do that and much more. You exceed the expectations that we could ever put out there for you.
Thank you.
You know how to move the crowd. The people enjoyed it. They loved it. We got reviews. We have bookings already as a result of the New Year's Eve party.
Yeah.
And that was, of course, that's the goal, is to grow the business, grow the brand, and make sure that people are aware that we exist and what we can do for them in offering a venue that can book at your budget.
Yeah.
Versus what's on the marquee outside. So our expectations were exceeded. Thank you.
I love it. And I'm just gonna tell you, as in terms of someone that that you'll book, and someone that goes to your venue, like your venue space is amazing. Shout out to Danny with the floors.
Oh yeah, Danny Batterby, Flooring USA. Go check him out.
Right on
I
Palmetto
definitely give a
Street.
shout out to Danny.
And he will come and show out.
And he'll
too.
dance
Invite
on
him
his
to the
floors for
party.
you.
He will dance all night long. Just genuinely dope people that I really I just really vibe with. But I just want to say thank you to you, because you are like climbing that ladder to like one of the favorite people that I love. Like if you call and say you need a host for this, I'm like, I'm there. Like I love your business savvy. You really know how to build a partnership with someone where there's a give and there's a take, or there's a give and there's a give. Like you get it, like you understand it. There's a lot of people in business who simply don't get it. They don't make you feel valued. It's just I leave with a feeling of emptiness. Like, yes, I got paid, but at the end of the day, was I fulfilled with it? And I can tell you that the crowds that you bring in, the events that you host, they're meaningful. I leave with something, although I'm providing a service, it's like I'm getting full myself. I get fulfilled, with having a nice venue space. With, you're always going to bring out the great food. The vendors that you bring, I don't know where you get them from, but you had, what was it? The cannolis. Really, a cannoli bar? Like, really?
That's Lee Williams, my girl. Lee Williams got desserts.
Just amazing. From the designs, the decor, with the balloons, with the bartenders.
That's Rizwan Amir.
And let's shout out the DJ.
And don't forget DJ Minnie C.
Listen, let's talk about the photo booth specialist.
That's DJ Minnie Evolve.
Listen, Evolve Entertainment has it going on, right? And then you have this hidden gem inside of the venue space, which is another room that looks like another venue space where it's just food galore. And you do this huge spread like every single time. And I'm like, I am so proud of you guys. Like this is becoming a staple in the community as one of the premier venue spaces. And so I just want to give you your kudos for that, because you are doing it. You are doing it. Magnificent.
Shout out to AM Rise, our DJ for that night.
Yes. That was my partner in crime that night. And so when that balloon dropped, even before the balloon drops, that we always go into the new year with resolutions, with goals. Some people have goals, some people don't set resolutions, but what are you anticipating in this 2025 year?
We're anticipating the biggest and the best growth, and I've adopted a different reason for celebrating, a different what's the word I'm looking for? The word success, so that it's not overused as a cliche, but achievement and fulfillment. You use the word fulfillment. We're looking for the best feelings and the fulfillment that we've been working towards. This is the year of reward. This is the year of harvest, and we've been working towards this, and we're just expecting the most. Like when people say, I'm doing the most, we've been doing the most, we're expecting the most.
Right.
That's all.
Talk to me, Darrian, like with your expectations. Is it when we set expectations and we want, I know you said you want growth and you're looking for, these huge expectations. Does it scare you sometimes? Like the harvest, you have a harvest, like when you harvest things, you're going to reap it, right? So that's the harvesting part. So is it scary? Like, are your expectations like so large that it's scary? And if so, like, how do you manage that as an entrepreneur?
I mean, really, when you come down and think about it, being an entrepreneur, you are out on a ledge every day. You still have people to pay regardless of what money has come in. So when I say growth, I'm talking about, like she said, built up, stored up, any good that's going out in the universe, we're expecting it to come back. We're setting ourselves in a position to hopefully be able to not only just employ people, but give anyone who can utilize their time with us a space that they can actually grow also. That's what we like to do. If someone's with us, we try to empower them so that they can do their own, get their own. So growth for me is growth for the people around me also. So
And that's it.
We're
That's it.
using our platform to build a platform for others. That's our goal for the venue space. That's been our goal for our team members who work with us, because in the end, if we're not giving into them, if we're not helping them to help us, if we're not pouring into them what they're pouring into our companies, then what are we really doing?
Yeah.
A lot of people miss that when they start a business and they just need people to work it, but there's no real fulfillment in the lives of the people who are helping this dream that's not theirs, it's yours, to come to pass. And if they're giving of their time and their lives and their resources to help us build our dream, to help us grow our baby, then the least we can do is do our best to pour back into their lives, and make them feel like what they're a part of is worth what they're doing, here with us.
So I want to start from we're talking humble beginnings, right? And when
very humble.
So let's talk about how humble we're talking about, right? Like, how did Darrian and Dorcas start? Tell me about your foundations of your relationship. Like, how did you guys meet, and then how did you get to this point that you are at right now with the businesses? So tell us how you met. It was a cloudy day.
Struggle is real. I mean, we probably met when we were children and didn't know it. So that's the beginning of the story. We were born on the same street, and we didn't meet until my senior year in high school.
And my junior year on test day to get into Lakeland Christian School. And our moms saw each other in the lobby when we were waiting to go in to take our entrance exam. And they were like, Rebecca. And she was like, Carrie. And I was looking at him like, oh, great.
So it started off as a problem. How about that?
And I was like, oh, he probably is such a jerk. He's a basketball player and he's so popular. And I was not popular. I was like the exact opposite. And I was just didn't want to be there. And I was like, oh, this is the story of my life. And I was judging him, and they didn't even know him. I don't think he was judging me. I don't know.
But it was time well spent getting to know Dorcas at school, and writing letters, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, we were pen pals back when that was a thing, right? So before cell phones, we actually wrote letters. That was really cool.
Do you guys still have the letters? Please tell me you still have the letters.
Yes, you do. You do. we wrote letters like back and forth all the time, like through class. When we talk about church, we became fast friends. Like it was platonic. It wasn't even like anything beyond that. We were just excited about our lives and what we did. And he was active in church. I was active in church. We just loved talking and sharing, and we agreed on a lot of things. We thought differently on things, but we discussed them, and we had a lot of the same types of things that we wanted to do or wanted to be, or places we wanted to visit. And that was really like
your core values pretty much align with one another, because I think that's so important. Like the more and more I start like examining partnerships in entrepreneurship, but then when it comes to you having this business partnership with your spouse, it's like I feel that you have to have this amazing groundwork, this amazing foundation to want to look at each other almost 24/7 and to be able to elevate. And from someone watching from the outside, I can see it. I told this story at one of your events. on how, you know, we were moms at a school, like our kids were in first grade. And I just remember hearing you, you know, talk about some of the things that you wanted to do. And I wonder, my question that I'd never asked was, you know, how did that come to be? Like, was this pillow talk where it's like, listen, this is something that we want to do together to build generational wealth? Like, where did it start? Where did this talk of entrepreneurship start?
We were just working and, you know, serving, and, you know, you don't really see the residuals from that. You are paid at a, you know, rate that you've agreed to.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get any more than that. You're not going to be able to recoup any time that's given. Your family's still going to be, you know, there or with someone else, you know, someone else's care. It was just those factors that contributed to us deciding that it was time for us to start our own business, control our own time, and not put a cap on what we can earn.
Yeah, we wanted our time to be our time, and our talents that we were really pouring into other companies and helping other companies achieve their bottom line.
Yeah.
We felt that, you know, maybe we could better utilize our own talents. Of course, we were expected to work harder, but after I finished my master's, I was applying for jobs, like trying to get into those higher C-suite positions.
Yeah.
And he was like, why don't you just take a break from doing that and try to monetize something you're already good at here, or that we could do that you like to do, instead of working for everybody else doing things that they need you to do. How about you just
creating whole
try something?
Plans, creating whole employment handbooks.
Wow. So was it business? Did you go to school? Like, did you get your master's in business?
It's in human resources and management leadership.
Listen.
So
okay. That explains a lot.
And I have a certification in project management.
Okay.
So projects, building projects, planning events, organizational leadership, collaboration, team building, training, all that stuff that you do for other jobs, you know. We were like,
we both done it.
We could do that for ourselves, but
right.
we didn't realize how, you know, hard it is to do it for yourself once you start your own business.
So let's talk about
it. I need to hire somebody else to do that for me.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how hard it is. Like, what step one? Like, what would you tell somebody to do first? What did you do first?
I think the first thing we did was when he said that, I quit applying for jobs because I was becoming a professional job seeker. I was really good at it.
Yeah.
I knew I was good at other things. We started talking to people, I think, and telling them, because we knew we didn't want to start a restaurant. I knew I didn't want to start a restaurant because that's so much work. We were thinking food truck. I was at Catapult. We enrolled in Catapult. Well, actually, no, we were looking for a kitchen. So like the first thing we decided.
We wrote it down.
We wrote it down.
Yeah.
We decided we wanted to do catering because we could, you know, schedule a job out, get paid for the job, do the job, and make the money from that job to do the next job. You know what I'm saying? So there was a little more flexibility.
Was Catapult beneficial for you? Because I see that a lot of people kind of get their start at Catapult. They make connections. Like, how was that experience for you?
It was a little bit of everything, and at the same time, it was a growth period where even Catapult, they were crossing, you know, some lines off, some things off for the first time.
Yeah.
As we came through the program, so it was a learning environment for all involved, and of course, the networking was excellent. You're gonna have to, you know, fight for your own information. You got to go and get your own information. You can't rely on a incubator or a business just to feed you everything you need. Part of that has to be your own search and your own desire to gain that knowledge and understanding of how to do things.
And
so
Catapult,
they were great though, but
can I put a pin in that and I hope I want this person to get this to see this episode. As a matter of fact, I'm going to forward it to them because I, like my friend Mocha Glam, we call ourselves the connectors, right? And so I really like if I listen to someone and it's like immediately I just start all these people, oh, this person can help you, this person can help you. And it's like I love to connect people. But when you just spoke to me when you said you have to be the person who is in charge of getting the information, making those connections as well. Because yes, when a person gives you that information, it's really your task to then you have to go and you have to make moves with that. Like sometimes to get your foot in the door, you have to have somebody hold your hand to do that, to lead you to that door. But if it's a resource, like if I asked you, Dorcas, I need help with funding, or I need some leads on clients on who may need a host for the event. And if you just threw me names, or if you gave me like their links, etc., I'm going to take it and I'm going to run. I'm going to be like, she's giving me people that she knows that I can directly contact. And I feel that if you knew it was someone that let me sift this for you, or it will probably be apropos if I introduced you guys, and that would be a better in for you with this person. But, when people give you these leads, when they give you, like contact this person, it's like, you got to take that and you got to run with it. That's your responsibility to do that, because that is a resource in itself. It's a name that you didn't know before. And if they're giving you this name, like you gotta put in the work. So I wanted to put a pin in it for that moment, because, in this age that we're in, we got to be goal diggers. Like I talk about that all the time. And it's all about you doing the necessary work. That's a part of you with your comeback story. Like you gotta put in the necessary work, got to get the right resources and use them effectively, but you got to do the work, right?
And Catapult is a resource. Like they are a resource. They are a foundation that you can build everything. Like that's what they were for us. Like they were the environment that helped you thrive. They were the resource of people and connections that were established in Lakeland, that are established in many different places, that just knowing them or being in Catapult could afford you opportunities that you may not have been exposed to elsewhere. That was like the biggest thing. Like Darren had to remind me, there's so many ups and downs in this whole world of entrepreneurship. And he was like, one time when I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. I think I'm just leaving and we'll figure out what we want to do on it. He said, no, I think you need to stay, because where else are you going to have a saturated market of big people, big pockets, big change makers and decision makers in this community? We have them. They're right here. And at Catapult, they're at your fingertips.
Yeah. There will be bumps and bruises along the way. Everything isn't going to be, perfect. You have to sometimes adjust and adapt to people and their ways of doing things. It's not going to line up with everything that you know. So just because the place is, doing good doesn't mean it's always going to be good. You're going to have to talk some things out. You're going to have to, like I said, make adjustments, but it's worth it in the end if you stick with it, period.
Yeah. So your journey, how did it segue out of Catapult, and then where did you go there? Because it's like, I remember your days at Catapult, and I'm like, it's like from there, you guys just took off and you made it your own. You created your own lane. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like every time I would talk to someone about catering, like, do you know a caterer? They would always say you guys. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like every single time, like I got a hit from you guys. And I've reached out to you, I don't know how many times, to do like hosting jobs, but it's not necessarily me booking you, but like through organizations. Like I started just putting your name in the bucket, in the hat as well. So tell me about the name that you created yourselves.
Well, we were there 5 years and then we launched. So we launched 2 years ago. Yeah, launched 2 years ago, because that was when
It has only been 2 years?
I know, it feels like it.
My gosh.
It was right. It was the February of, this is 2022.
Okay.
Because that we moved into the courthouse as a cafe, which was a separate venture. That was a government contract. That it wasn't, we didn't launch out of Catapult into the courthouse. Like a lot of people thought, oh, well, that must be their kitchen. But that wasn't our kitchen. We moved to a private residential facility that has a commercial kitchen. And that was a whole separate area where we launched into.
But those RFPs were fun.
Yes. We love RFP is request for proposal. Mm-hmm. That's where you have to apply for these contracts.
So listen, that's where I was going with it. So you really did help me with the segue, because I'm like, I'm hearing contracts. I'm hearing government contracts. Like, tell me, like, because you guys, I know you have like a household incubator of thoughts, and I'm making stuff up. I'm being facetious. So just follow me. I'm like, in my brain, I'm thinking you guys like every Wednesday, family meeting. Let's go. Like what? Like drop something in the hat. Like what are we gonna do today? But I'm like, so how did this idea for a government contract to come about? Because I keep hearing that's the way to go. And I would have never thought a government contract with a food service or a catering business like that would have not have been on my scope.
So this is going to be a 2-part answer.
Okay. It's like, and break. Let's huddle in. Okay.
So we found out through some connections, contacts. I know that Dorcas had through leadership. People will come to us and let us know that, hey, you might want to, put in for this bid. So sometimes it may not even be on your own radar. That's where that networking comes in. It may not be, a client right away. You may have to do some work.
Yeah.
And it was these RFPs, once you get them, you read them. If you follow those instructions to the T, like you're doing a project in school, you will get the desired amount of points for each section. And you're rated against the next business that did or didn't follow all the instructions, that did or didn't fill in the right blanks and leave the ones that they said to leave blank empty, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So it's really just taking your time and doing what's requested, and none of it's impossible. We can help walk you through that. I love RFPs because you can score however you want to. I mean, it's like an open book test almost.
Yeah, okay.
He's micro. So when he's talking about these micro, he gets all excited because he'll pull every letter out of every word, out of every sentence, out of every paragraph and reread it. And I might have skimmed over it because I'm like very macro. So large and wide, 30,000 foot view. I'm like, okay, the bullet points are this project. I think we can do it. And then it's like, can you reread this? Because I think I missed some parts. And like, I really enjoyed like the first one we did together because it was more fun and it was intense, and we were like, wait, that's not right. And he was like, but you gotta do this, and we're back and forth and we're matching wits and we're trying to get this done right.
And meet the deadline.
And meet deadlines and be at these meetings that they require. So my first dealings with these types of contracts was through the Department of Health, because I worked for the state. I worked for the county government. I worked for the city government. And in all of these positions, all those old jobs that we had back then, I feel like we're a sum of our parts, and we're better equipped to do these things and these hard things that some people might consider hard because we were exposed to them early on. Mm-hmm. I read over contracts, and I actually worked on grants and the emergency and disaster preparedness contracts and the post 9/11 violence in the hospital workplace and mass vaccination campaigns during the bird flu and influenza flu pandemic. So H1N1. So I worked during that. event. I was a communications joint information center leader for the Haiti repatriation back in 2010, when we brought all of the repatriates from the islands, and we worked on them medically at the Tampa International Airport. So all of these massive government-run things that we had to do, I learned how it works and the ins and outs of them. So, and I'm an adrenaline junkie on top of that. I used to work in the ER as a nurse's aide and do some other things. So I just like doing that kind of stuff. And so with both of us together, coupled with his like very analytical mind, he's more account savvy and bookkeeping savvy, and like the stuff that numbers, I like the numbers that I can see percentages, what I'm going to make off of them, and how I can, divide this up and multiply it. But when it comes to the intricate details of things, that's where we balance each other out. So that's how we're able to get through these contracts, because it takes two brains, and it takes the brain that, has the frilly and flowery part, and the part that'll make it all beautiful and write it out properly. And then it takes the analytical side to get the numbers right. And it's really cool.
It does. So you have the aspect, not aspect, but you have the parent company, or the umbrella company, which is the essential catering solutions team. And so now you have the cafe in Bartow, and it's in the Bartow courthouse, right? Give me the name of that.
Daily Huddle Cafe.
Right. And so people have to come there. Like, how many people come in and out of the courthouse? Like thousands upon thousands every day, right? And so you also have the Black Swan venue. So how did you maneuver? Like, where are we going? Like, what was your idea behind that?
Looking for more freedom, I would say, probably. Looking for more ability to corner the hospitality market. That's what she said. We were able to be in so many venues doing the catering, function, that we were able to see how these contracts were, what the people complained about, what the people wanted, what they needed, what the caterers needed, so we had that vantage point to say, this is a better business model, or a very good business model to have. And that was, space. And coming from real estate, not as a real estate agent, but a property manager, I was able to see, hey, that's a good way to earn an income, is off someone's need for space, period, whether it's on a monthly basis or daily basis.
Yeah.
I like the daily,
And you mentioned like that we collaborate. So when we were coming up and, on the come up, as far as even serving people food, we started out asking for help. We started out making friends, and the people who were in the game already, who've been in the game for years. One of them's a very dear friend. I have several dear friends in the same business as us. We work with them. We talk to them, we talk shop. We've utilized them to provide our catering services. We don't meet strangers. And if they're willing to, give back to us, it's a good symbiotic relationship. And I think that's part of why we could kind of just flow into a venue business and a production business, because we already had built relationships. It was all about relationships. We knew so many other caterers in this county. We attend events that other caterers are catering, and we'll talk to them, and we want to taste their food too, because it's always better. It tastes better when you didn't have to cook it, right?
It does. I can attest to that.
We always go to and they're friends of ours. Like, we consider them friends. We consider, yes, we're all in competition, but there's so much business out there. There's so many people who need all of our services. There's no reason for us to be like, oh, we can't be friends with this company because they're doing the same thing we do, and we're in competition. We're in competition and collaboration.
Yeah.
And we oftentimes can say, hey, we don't do that, but this other caterer does. Or that caterer will call us and be like, y'all want this because we're actually not available that day, or whatever the case might be. It works. And we've found the same thing with the venue business. We're getting we've also gone out to other venues. We've talked with them. We've asked them for their guidance. We've asked them what they're doing to make themselves successful, because all of these people have been in business longer than us, mostly all of the ones that we collaborate with. So they have knowledge and they can put it down, and we can definitely pick it up. And if whatever doesn't necessarily work for us, we can change it or tweak it and make it work for us. And in the end, we're still all different. We're the same, but we're still all different.
So tell me, in terms of the components to building these willing partnerships with people, because I love the mantra collaboration over competition, etc., because that's the only way that you are going to expand in business. Like, you are steps away from being a millionaire based off of the circle that you're surrounded by. Like, you will make the millions based off of your way to maneuver and network with people versus just simply your knowledge. Mm-hmm. So the ins and outs of building these relationships, have you ever hit like a brick wall with someone where maybe they didn't like you for a certain reason, or they weren't as shareful or in sharing as other businesses, but you expected something different? Like, tell me like some of the hindrances that you guys have faced in retrospect.
No, where do you start? Well, because you know what? People are always talking about how good things are, but but good comes, it's like plop, 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 ooh, plop, 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 ooh. Like, you get all these horrible moments and crappy moments and awful conversations, or brick walls, like you say, where you heard no, or you heard no in a nasty way, or no in a nice way, but you was really hoping for yes, or you were going for this one thing and you thought that was it, and then it ended up not being it at all. And you were like, I thought I was so close. Or, generally speaking, I feel that people are really decent. Yeah. But I think a lot of things don't come to you because you don't ask. Okay. And I grew up with my dad always used to say, you don't know if you didn't ask. Yeah, and like a closed mouth won't and you have not because you ask not. Right. It might be a proverb taken from the Bible and paraphrased. Yeah. But I personally have always been of the mindset that even if it feels very hard to bring myself to think about whether or not I should ask for this, all that thinking about whether or not I should have asked for this, I could have already asked by now. And I would have had a yes or a no. It's either or, it's a 50-50 chance that you're going to get one or the other. So if you don't at least ask, you'll just never know. You'll always be saying, oh, if I maybe could have. And you spent so much energy not knowing.
And that's the thing I was gonna say is about energy. That's a good one. Yeah. Anytime that you have opposition, anything that's not, someone may be out there that doesn't want to see you succeed. Maybe they've expressed that, or maybe it's just inherent. You can kind of tell. You just can't give it energy. I mean, the more energy you give it, the more you let that thing grow, the more you let that thing take over. And at that point, now you're thinking like that next person, and that wasn't even in your own mind. So you just can't give those things energy. You have to keep fighting for what you desire, the outcome that you want, and just don't even, you may have to address it, yes. But when you address it, do it with the truth, do it straight up. Don't go behind nobody and talk here and there and let people know how you feel. You go straight to that person and let them know how what situation this is and where you stand. Yeah. And you leave it alone. You don't let people's influence tear you down like that, because there will be opposition.
It's a constant battle. Yeah, it's a constant battle with conversations or things out in the community that we hear. There's always going to be naysayers. People can call them haters or whatever you want to call them, but there's always going to be an opposite, an opposing force. That's why it's a challenge. That's why it can be hard. But there's also possibilities of easy. There's also possibilities of yes sayers. There's possibilities of the opposite. We tend to always magnify the negative in everything, and we let that first initial emotion of fear take the wind out of our sail. You know what I mean? When we technically were fine and we were flowing fine, the wind was blowing great, and we looked down and got scared. And started tensing up. Now our sail is like shaking, and we're about to, cause a fall when we were doing fine. We were doing just fine. So we have to let ourselves not be swayed by situations that become negative, or, oh my God, this is not how we wanted this to work out, or the money's not there. God is an awesome force that we rely on very heavily. And my faith is strong. And when we have had like the worst and worst of times, and when we have no money in the bank, and there's like 3 accounts are looking really red, and we wish they would be any other color, but just like any color would be great. Yellow, blue, orange, anything. But red is awful. There's no pink in there anyway.
Right.
Negative red. I mean, that's the reality. That's the reality of this journey that you take. And so it takes a lot of faith. It takes so much faith. And it takes the willingness to be like, okay, out of all these no's, I'm going to get a yes. Let's keep trying. Let's keep trying for a yes. And let's ask for help. People don't want to ask for directions or let GPS, let Google or GPS, let them lead, let them tell them where to go. And I feel like there's someone else out there always who knows the answers to some of these questions that we have.
Absolutely.
And I started picking up the phone, or I'll text or email, and they might not even have the question, but it's like, you know what? Have we not reached out to them?
Yeah.
We would not have, and we've also come together, the two of us, like when we get in really tight situations, I've learned that we kind of start thinking outside the box. Like we start really coming up with like random stuff we might not have even thought of. And that might be where the venue came from. That might be where that contract came from. We were like, we need some money.
Right.
And we started writing down. We started brainstorming. We started Googling. And Googling is a resource. Google is your phone a friend. Who wants to be a millionaire? Can I phone a friend? Let me Google. Because Google will lead you to places that you can't just necessarily go by picking up the phone. And Google's everywhere, and it's international. So therefore, you can look for resources outside of your community, outside of your state, outside of the country.
Yeah.
There's caterers who cater all over the world.
Yeah.
There's venues all over the world. There's venues in France and in Africa. We look for resources outside of this country. We look for resources outside of the state. I will call people in Connecticut. I'll call people in California. I'll tell them we're at a venue in Florida.
Yeah.
This is what we've been doing. What do y'all find interesting? And that works. It really works.
I really like that. And you can tell that you're well-versed, you're multifaceted. And I say this because I observe things. And so I'm like, with your businesses that you have, it's like you position yourselves where you are going to be inclusive to everyone. It's not necessarily in this part of town or that part of town. Your businesses are centrally located in areas where business is taken care of. Downtown Bartow, at the courthouse, And so how do you think this has come to be? Is it the power of networking? Darrian, is it the project management, knowing how to have a keen eye for that real estate? Like, what is it? Like, what's the sauce in the formula in the sauce?
The search. I mean, you dig up so much. You said gold digging, not gold digging. My bad. Well, gold digging. But I mean, you dig up so much when you're searching. When you, like she said, that first Google search will lead you down a pathway, down a rabbit hole to the next step, and then you get down to the next step, and now you wonder what I started. Okay, now I'm back to where I was, and you at the end of it, you found a gem at somewhere. And I mean, Dorcas was going around and calling the different warehouses. We were going to initially have the venue in a warehouse space.
Okay.
But it was off the beaten path, and it wasn't anything that anyone with no traffic. And we were one of the first caterers to even do a billboard. And that was big.
We were the first.
Yeah.
I mean, the first, I guess you could say, right on Memorial Boulevard.
Listen, I was going to say,
going west.
But it's the search. It's the journey. It's each step of the way you can gain some knowledge and some information, and you just have to be able to, take it, digest it, and be able to share it, and you continue to grow that way. And the venue itself, how it came about, it was just, once again, a search. It was, the location could have been anywhere, and it was just nowhere. There were no's. That's one of the no's. There were many no's. We don't want a caterer in there. We're not catering.
We don't want to.
We're not coming here to cook in here. But you're a caterer, so no. We just got straight up no's.
Wow.
For no reason,
Mm-hmm.
So
we're saving our space for office space. We're like, what's going out, isn't it?
So it's the search. It's the journey. It's it's the hearing those no's and still fighting for that yes.
Here's another thing. And before because I want you to definitely do yourself some justice in terms of promoting your business. By the way, thank you so much for wanting to wear the new apparel, the merch, the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast shirts. This is why I love these two. I promise. It's just like they get it. Like I didn't reach out to them. They reached out to me, and Dorcas is like, "Hey, how do we get those shirts? Like, what do I need to send you the money?" And I'm just like, "Girl, here's what you do." I had already just planned that night to. I was like, "Okay, Jazz, you have this merch. Like, you're trying to expand. Like, let's get it. It's 2025." And then I get a text from you, and I'm like, "Thank you, God." Like, oh my gosh! Like, I'm literally telling you, Dorcas. Like, I was formulating that post. And you text me, and I was just like, OMG. Like let's go. Like, because you could have wanted to put on your essential Catering Solutions Inc. shirt. You could have wanted to put on any paraphernalia, and you chose to do that. And I'm like,
represent.
Like, I love you too. Like, I love it. And that's just what I'm talking about. Like I love it. And one of the things that I can tell you, like whenever I've ever called your businesses or wanted to know information or get quotes, you have some of the most polite employees. Like, it's like they like working for you. And so, are these family? Are these friends? Like, you have a great support system. So how have you managed to do that? Like, I know you're all about the transformational leadership, the servant leadership. Like, what is it? Because you guys do have great personalities. I just want to keep saying that. Like, I love your personalities. It's like, okay, I can easily work with these two. But what do you think is the winning formula for that? What do you do with your employees?
Well, I'm glad you asked about our team, because we value our team.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to be on this call with you and be flaunting out in the streets and making it to other. We wouldn't be able to be out. We wouldn't be able to be out without our team, like our squad. I mean, Adelie, who most of the time people hear her voice like all the time on the catering side. And
I love
she's
her.
been with us since the beginning.
I love her.
And she had more faith for us than we even had for ourselves when we was, deep in the trenches and just struggling. And I was like, you're going to have to go get you a real job because I can't pay you. Like, I can't pay you. I can't do this right now. We're struggling. And she had such a strong, I don't know what to call it, but she's strong.
Strong foundation.
Strong. She's like,
God,
it's okay. We gonna get through this, and she speaks life into this company. And I know there's a long cliche mantra that people say, like, nobody's gonna work as hard as you do for yourself in your business. And I truly beg to differ.
Yeah.
I don't believe that for 1 second, because I can attest to all the times where she's outworked us. This business, she sees it as hers, and she helped us start it. Like, she was the ideas behind it. Yeah. She put her own money into helping us get started. Yeah. I mean, when we didn't have money to start this bank account, she gave us the money to put in our first bank account. Like, those are the kinds of things that people don't hear about, or people don't tell other people that happen. So we literally value our team members. And it's one of those things too, like, if you're helping me, how can I help you help me?
Yeah.
And if, somebody's having issues or they need some help, we're like, come to us. Just come to us. Don't keep it, because if you're not 100% you outside of work, you can't really be 100% inside work. You can't really, be who you need to be for the company if you're not who you need to be for you.
Yeah.
And so we value that relationship that will feed them because they're feeding us, So.
And yes, family, our parents, our siblings, everyone, nieces, nephews,
brothers,
everyone has been,
sisters,
everyone
cousins.
has been involved in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm so thankful for Rebecca Thomas, Walter Laylor, her
mother,
parents, Carrie
my God.
my brother, Daryl Rock, everybody, they contribute and they feed us with what we need at the moment, at the time. I mean, we
wouldn't be here without them. Like, there's no question. Like,
Mickey's
my brother, and these are people who don't necessarily live with us.
Yeah.
But they're there. They're the wizards behind the curtains, as I call them. I always call Audley that. But these are people who are unspoken. You don't hear them. You don't see them. They're rooting for us. I know people are like, oh, Facebook friends are fake. But I consider people who follow us also that support, because encouragement is what keeps people going.
It is.
And when you don't get encouraged, it does have an effect on your psyche. Yeah. Even if it's only one person encouraging you and there's no other people, that one person might have brought you out the funk that you were in from the 10 other people that didn't encourage you,
Yeah.
So every little bit, every little thing, every little thought that's for us and for our children is gold. Yeah. It's platinum. It's like you can't be successful or achieve and acquire that feeling of fulfillment without the help and the support or the thought or the prayer for. We grew up in networks of churches that these people are for us. Even if we haven't talked to them in years, we know it. And they'll tell us if we see them or maybe hear from them. They're like, hey, I've been watching you, keep up the good work. And you're just like, wait, you've been watching me?
That feels so good, right?
Oh, it's so great. And it's really great. Like it just, there's no words for it. It's just awesome.
So I want to say, you in continuing to, look at your bio, like just to stay in thought in your bio, and it's work, it's you making a living for your family to create generational wealth, but it's also you giving back to the community. Like, I mean, 768,000 hours, giving free food back to the community, those who are in need. It's like you get it. You are a well-rounded, reputable company that that people can trust. And I want them to book. Like, I want you guys to be booked, busy, elevating, like you said, growing and growing and growing into that next level, like all year long and beyond. And so I want to give you this particular space in the podcast as we wrap, to just talk about the businesses that you have, the services that you have, because we didn't even talk about you being there to support entrepreneurs, because you do offer that service to help small businesses. So I need you to give us from A to Z everything that we can come and reach out to you for and pay you for.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll start with the most recent event that I was just able to post about, and I've been sending out. I will be teaching the basic training of how to start a business. This has been something that people have been asking and begging me to do. It's a lot of the sidewalk conversations. It's a lot of the calls and phone calls and texts that I can put together. I can put the information together, and we have a really good, get into it, the nitty gritty of starting a business, from the registration to the opening your bank accounts and how you even do that, to why you need to open this bank account and why you don't need to open this one. The real foundational steps that I think a lot of people overlook when they're training you on how to start a business. There's a lot of frilly and flowery, surfacey information. Yeah. And we need it tangible, applicable, skill sets to be able to do this stuff.
Right.
And a lot of it, we had to find it on our own. So that's what we're doing. We're taking and compiling all of what we have learned and what we gained through our mistakes, through our pitfalls, through the successes that we achieved. And we're packing it into a 4-hour course. Awesome. Where we're doing, there's a full agenda, and you have several topics that we're going to take you through starting your business. And we can guarantee these outcomes because we're actually taking you through the steps. Yeah. I was just talking to a friend of mine today. She's a colleague, and she does desserts. And I was just telling her, I said, you know what? I can guarantee an outcome if I'm doing it myself, right? Because I know what I can do and how to get there. So if I'm taking you through it, I can guarantee your outcome because we're doing it together. Right. If I just tell you, I can hope that you get the same outcome. Right. So my class will be Sunday, January 26th, and it will be at Black Swan Venue. And then we're also doing a VIP session for only those who upgrade to a VIP, where they have us one-on-one, with actually 19 people, and they'll get to ask us anything they want. Like, they can ask us anything for an hour and a half. So I'm really excited about that. And that'll build into other classes. We'll be teaching some contract classes and how to get bids on government contracts and things like that. Back up to
Serve Safe Manager training too.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
You need to tell her about that.
If you
we have people who are watching, and then 1 second. So Carolyn said, does it include how to write a business plan?
Yes. Okay. And it will include how to apply that. Thank you, Carolyn Bryant.
That's one of those ones that root for us.
Oh man. Yeah. Supporters right there. Yes. And then some. So it will cover that.
Okay. And so Darrian, what were you saying?
Serve Safe trainer for the food handler or the food manager license. You can come and do that at Black Swan Venue, or we can do it online.
That's awesome.
He's a licensed instructor.
I wish I would have known that, because I had to do that for my school. Like, I would have much rather have preferred to come to you.
So that's on coming out we'll be putting the flyers out and things like for that. But people
Okay.
can sign up for Serve Safe training, food handler, food manager courses.
Awesome.
And I can notarize, and I can also perform marriages. So we do micro mini money weddings.
I should have told people on my post that you are going to marry me and my husband, that people are thinking that I have. And this is
All right, I'm ready.
I'm just gonna stop at that because people just have to continue to read. And so if you're gonna be in business, you gotta read all of the fine print. And I'm just gonna say that.
You're right. And so I can marry you. We can notarize any paperwork and we can marry you. We'll come to you and marry you, or you can come to the venue and get a full package, all-inclusive package. Well, you can find us anywhere as far as Black Swan Venue is concerned, blackswanvenue.com. We are the only venue that is book at your budget, meaning you give us your budget and we work with you to book the venue at your budget. If you like all-inclusive, we do provide all-inclusive packages where you can get the venue to the decor to the food and everything in between. And then we also have pick and choose. So you can add catering to your venue. You can add a photo booth, or you can add food decor. You don't have to get all of the above within your package. Yeah. You can also book the venue as a business owner. We want to let business owners know, and people who are looking to gain a following or market their products or businesses, they can do that at our space for very nominal fees. Awesome. Because we know that they're bringing people into this space. So we want to give them the opportunity or the platform to have what they would like to have and speak on that as well. Awesome. If you're...
Oh, no, I was just going to say, Carolyn said, what's the date again? In
January 26th, this month, Sunday, 2 p.m., January 26th.
And she's
How to Start a Business Basic Training. That is the name of the course.
I love it.
And the cost is, so it's $50 if you would like to get your early bird tickets right now. Yes. They are open right now. We are selling right now. And this is open until it sells out. But the early bird tickets, I believe, are only open for the next 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then it goes to regular general admission, which is $65. It's only $30 more to upgrade to the VIP session, which is after that. And it'll also give you some other details of things you'll be eligible for in the future. So we're working on a tribe. We're building a tribe of successful people, whether you've started a business already or you haven't started one. But you're trying to figure out what the next steps are. That's the point of this class. You may find your answers in that class to lead you which direction you may be thinking you're not sure where you want to go. Yeah. So this class is there to bring clarity to you, whether you've been in business already and are trying to figure out how to expand or diversify into another area, because that's what we're doing. When you've been in business, sometimes you want to try something different. So we'll definitely be talking about that. And then there's a networking session in between. So then we're going to break for a break with food or refreshments. We're going to feed y'all because we need fuel for the last half of the class. And that'll be a session for networking too, because we want these people to get to know each other. Mm-hmm. And give the leads and share leads. So that's definitely something that people will find extremely valuable. And it's very reasonable and affordable because we're giving 4 whole hours of this. And this isn't 4 hours of fluff. We don't believe in fluff. We believe in like really giving you the real stuff that'll get you from point A to point Z, and all those in between steps won't be skipped over.
Awesome.
I don't like skipping stuff over.
And see, I don't either. Because like when people offer those services, I'm glad you hit on a whole lot of things that I was thinking. It's like, I don't want the the cutesy stuff. Like I need the nitty gritty, like practical. What do I need to put into practice? This is what I have to do. Shave off 5 years of disappointment for me.
Yes. We already went through it. So why do we want you to go through it again and still pay us to tell you some of it?
Right.
No, we'll tell you all of it.
Yeah. You have an event coming up in February too that caught my eye at the
Valentine's Day. February 14th is the day before our son's birthday. But we'll be out partying with everyone too. It is going to be a candlelit dinner and dance, and the music vibes will be wonderful. Again, it'll be blues and jazz and R&B and ballroom and all of those dance genres that are nice and welcoming of either a romantic dinner or just a really relaxed atmosphere. It is dress after 5 wear. We are requiring a nice dress code because we want people to feel very good in what they're wearing and celebrating love of any kind, because that's what we need more of. Just love, period. You know, you don't have to feel weird about loving who you want to love. So that's what we're celebrating there. It's open to couples and singles, and it's open to everyone. And it starts at 6. There's a buffet for open from 6 to 8, and then the whole night is dancing and music. So everybody, the tickets are on Eventbrite as well. My class tickets are also on Eventbrite or my website, dorcas.love. The class is also on sacredpro.com. The Valentine's dance is also on Eventbrite, and it's called Lovescape. So Lovescape, and it is on Eventbrite. It's on Sacred Pro. Black Swan Venue can get there too through all of our sites.
Awesome. So I love it. Darrian, did we cover everything?
I mean, we went through and through. There's some other places we can go we might have missed, but there's always another opportunity, right?
Absolutely. Like we have to do one live at the event space, like have a videographer and everything, and just just spaz it out, like just showcase a lot. We'll jazz it up.
Well, we have to thank you for doing this, because
absolutely
this is opening up doors for us too. You know, like it's a give and give relationship, like you said.
I'm telling you, like I took my first hiatus last year, like the whole month of December. I took December off, and I was just like tired. I'm like, I haven't taken a break in 3 years from the podcast, like from the show. And then it was like, oh my God, I'm doing a show today. Like it was just like, this is so surreal. But as I was prepping for it, I was just reminded, because you're rooted in your faith, and I'm still growing in my faith. Like I know that you have to have God, in order to have a comeback, and in all things you need him, like you need his guidance. And I was just reminded of how special this space is, like how special this platform is. Like I look back and I look at how many people have connected, whether it was through the live event, which they get to the live event by watching the podcast every Monday. The way that you guys said that you looked at past episodes leading up into your interview with me. And it's just like how you said, it just takes one person to encourage you or to say like a kind word to you. And I've just gotten so many people that want to connect with other people through this podcast. And so that's what keeps me going, because it does serve a purpose. And I feel it. Like you guys are a wealth of knowledge, but your energy, as Darrian was stating earlier, it is that energy, and you guys have an energy, a vibe about you that just attracts like that positivity that attracts people to you. And so I know, and I hope, that you do get some hits, like you do get, future clients from it. And I know you will. Like I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to talk about a past experience or anything like that or what I know, but you will.
Yeah, that's our expectation. So
Yes, high expectations, growth.
Always moving forward, yes.
Yes.
Grow awesome and great things, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I say, like I said at the top of the show, my mantra for 2025 is simply thrive in 2025. So if you have to ask those questions, don't be afraid to ask those questions.
Mhm.
If you have to ask for help, don't be afraid to ask for help. You need to start creating your circle again. Don't be afraid to do that, because all of these things will lead you to your elevation. And so that's the mantra for 2025.
hey, be thankful for all things, because God
Mhm.
is real. He will work in your life as much as you allow him to do so.
Absolutely.
That's
I
right.
love
So,
it. I love
We've
it. So
already
before we,
prayed blessings over you, because
oh,
you are doing it, Jazz, and you are laying the platform out for other people
yeah,
to get their voices out there and market themselves, and that's huge in
Yeah.
this day and age. That's so huge. Like,
yes.
marketing is so valuable and it's so necessary. And I feel a kindred spirit, of course, because you're a fellow journalist and communications
Yes.
degree person. So, you know, all these communications gurus. I just love you for that, man. You're utilizing your strengths and your talents, and I just love that. So
Yes.
keep
Have
up the
to.
good work.
You have to use all of those God-given talents like that. It's just
Mm.
like none of them go to waste at all, at all. So I thank you so much for your kind words. I thank you so much for being such a dope couple, a definition of a servant leadership team, of a power couple, of someone who just thrives in elevation and thrives in community, you know, giving back to others. And just thank you for your yes, for being on this podcast. Like, this is episode 139. And I am so honored. I'm so honored for you to be on. Like, yeah, you were my first episode of 2025. So that's like, if we can ring a bell, this bracelet has been doing all this
I'm gonna have
noise.
a shirt with something on it. We're gonna commemorate this day. Thank you.
Hey, like on New Year's Eve, you gotta give me kids.
Oh,
There
oh, I appreciate it. Listen, dude, before we get out of here, do you have any shout outs to anybody?
Yellow.
Shout it out. Yellow AJ. Yes, Yellow AJ. Bartender. Yellow AJ. We don't want to do that and get in trouble. Like, we love everybody. And I usually write down all the people I need to thank so I won't mess up.
Listen.
But I think that was who we forgot to shout out from the event. New Year's.
And she was amazing. Like, she kept
Oh
it coming.
my
She kept it
God.
flowing. She was amazing. Yes.
Shout out to everybody out there that's trying to help somebody else win and not just yourself. Those y'all are the real winners out here, the real heroes. Anyone who's willing to be selfless enough to help somebody else up and achieve their goals. I look to you for encouragement. Thank you.
And if you want to know anybody who can do anything for you, we can tell you, because we know a lot of people, and a lot of people have helped us. So we don't have any problems referring anybody that we've worked with to you. So if you want to know, hey, what about the other event you had? There was somebody else. Just ask us. Just reach out.
Yeah.
Reach out. We'll tell you.
Love. That's why I dig y'all so much. And it will always come back to you. Like, it will always come back to you. That's why, give out good in the world and it'll come back to you. So yeah.
Kindness begets kindness.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And so again, thank you so much for being my special guest for episode 139. Yay! First episode of 2025.
Yeah, that's huge.
Last one.
All right.
Yes. This will not be the last one at all. Listen, you can always catch the replay. If you did not catch the live of this episode and you are here with the replay, just put replay in the comment section on YouTube. Leave us a review. Book with them.
And book Jazz too for your event.
Yes, definitely. I'm always doing that. Definitely. I said this year I am going to promote my hosting services way more than what I do, because I don't. And I'm like, what are you doing, girl? So yes, if you need a host for your event, from corporate to family, to book signings, family events, community events, I can host them all. No event is too small, no event is too large. And yes, I will travel. And so I really love what I do. And so definitely, if you would like to book me, all you have to do is send me an email at jazzyconversationswithjazz@gmail.com. That's JAZZIE, conversations with jazz, like it's right here. All you have to do is email me there, and definitely like, subscribe, and leave me a review on IG, Facebook, or on YouTube. And never ever forget that now is the time for a dope comeback. You can make a comeback from anything with God, the right resources, using them effectively, and you putting in the necessary work. That is your formula for your comeback. So in 2025, we're going to thrive. And like Dorcas and Darrian said, we're going to grow, we're going to elevate, we're going to do all of those things and have greater expectations. So listen, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in, Dorcas and Darrian. Thank you so much again for being my special guest.
Thank you. We love you.
I love you too. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Yeah, right.
I gotta get my Oprah moment in there. You know, Oprah loves to yell.
What them gifts? What them gifts at?
All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night.